One. And we are live. Welcome to the new era of UNC football and its coverage. I am one of your hosts with the UNC Live podcast, Myron McCray, a.k.a. Tornado McCray, across the skies of the internet. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my co-host. Hey, tell the people who he is. Tell the people who you are.
Yo, what's good? What it is? How you living? It's your boy, Ricebox26. Also your co-host. Just coming at you again with another new UNC Live. So, yo, what's good, Beats?
Hey, Beats already here. He been working. He been working. Let him live. That man work hard.
Y'all been working.
That man work hard, bro. Let that man live.
Fine.
Let him live.
Let you live this week.
Yes, let him live this week. But man, so for those of y'all who don't know, we got a few things on the docket here, and you can always join us live on Tuesdays. Right now, these past couple weeks, it's been 9:15. We're usually 9 sharp. Just due to scheduling, a little issue, just a little delay, but it's okay. It's okay. We here with you. Well, I'm here with you, as y'all can see. We're live on YouTube. We're also doing this on Twitter right now, as well as on all the major platforms such as Anchor, Spotify. We will be streaming these to Facebook pretty soon as well. So that is also a dandy and things of that nature. And if you love us, if you love UNC football, if you just love the Tar Heels, or honestly, if you just want to see two hooligans, two best friends doing what they do, talking it up, chatting it up, and doing our thing, this is the place to be, because we are your Tuesday nightcap. I don't care what you say. We are the Tuesday nightcap. But we are not. Yes, we are the Tuesday nightcap for the voice of college football. We are the Tuesday nightcap. This ends with us. However, we are not Shannon Sharp Ocho Cinco nightcap. We are not that X-rated. Please, no. We are for children. We are here for everybody. Disney wouldn't get mad at us.
Not even just that. We have age limits and standards.
He said we got kids. There are people here. There are children watching. I wonder how many kids actually do watch this podcast. How many do you think it is?
6.
Oh, look. We got another one. Hi. Okay. Hi. Oh. Got one right there. So, man, get into today's docket. First thing, I know you're tired of talking about him. I know you're tired of talking about her. And she's been brought back up in conversation again. So, are Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson engaged? That's the question that's been going around.
Honestly, I'm not trying to find out.
Listen, so that's the question that's been going.
Whether it has been confirmed or denied.
All right, y'all. So here's the tea. Here's the Sprite that's been going on about this. According to the New York Times, yes, this made the New York Times, for God's sake. Report has been that Jordan Hudson has apparently told at least one person that she is engaged to one Bill Belichick. This is according to Catherine Rosman of the New York Times. So, according to this, they said she is engaged to Bill Belichick as of March of this year. Now, for those of you who don't know the timeline of Bill's dating life, I had to go look that up. Bill was married from 71 to 2006. I know he got divorced in 2006. Then was dating Linda Hamilton from 07 to 2023. Broke up with her and has been dating Jordan officially in that capacity. But remember, he met Jordan in 2021. So I wouldn't be surprised if the timelines kind of crossed hairs. But anyways, being engaged and whatnot to Bill, with everything that's going on, do you think this would cause more of a distraction and be just a bigger, like, bro, what is going on here?
I'm distracted.
Oh, God.
Are you not distracted?
Bro, I'm tired. I am sick of it. I'm tired of it because it's like, okay, even if she is engaged to the man, are we surprised? Are we really surprised? Like, is this worth
Not
my
particularly.
And I'm sad that we have to talk about it, but because she's tied to the man in terms of all the antics that have gone down over just the last month, of course, she's a subject of conversation.
Like she is, and tell you the truth, I don't know if you got a chance to go see the Pivot podcast interview with Bill.
I
I
have not
watched
yet.
it the other day, where basically what ended up happening, you know, like expected, they were going to ask Bill about the relationship, so on and so forth. He basically said how it goes is she's not involved in any football related stuff. Like all of her, basically her role in the business side of things is she's more like a PA or a PR rep. She's a PA PR representative. In other words, like she sets up interviews, reaches out to like book publishers and
So all the
promoters.
things we do know.
Basically, yeah, all the things that we do know that she's the one that's over all of that. Now, the reason why a lot of people consider it with some skepticism is because she shows up in a lot of situations that involve him in football still. Now, I get she has been a big help. According to him, she's been a big help when it comes to promoting the book, even him writing the book. Because apparently,
Bill pushing P.
And to be honest, the whole engagement thing got me thinking.
What is this?
This is why she's here.
This
This is why I think she's here. This is why I think this is all happening right now.
When I said, bro, the audio listeners are not going to know what I'm laughing at.
Oh, I know you're talking about the cover art. I know.
Hey, no, I'm saying the audio listeners are not going to know what I was just laughing at. They are not going to know.
So that's what I feel like. That's why I feel like all this engagement stuff is going on about the fact that she has the real estate portfolio she's got. I mean, I respect the dollar bill too. However, I respect the dollar bill in the situation of that you earned it yourself, or it was some kind of inheritance. You out here picking up on a 70-something-year-old man.
Listen, trying to make him feel good.
Clearly you are. Like, he also said trying to stay young in that interview. But
did he?
He did.
Oh Lord!
Because they brought up the yoga picture.
Oh no!
They brought up the yoga picture. But either way.
All right, we listen for the kids. We got to get out of there.
So quick segue out of that, right? So something I did get out of that interview, which I thought was really funny. So they brought up the trade for Randy Moss, right?
Yeah.
So the whole setup for apparently the whole setup for the trade with Randy Moss was, he said, y'all ain't about to tell me I got a tenderoni. No,
not the tenderoni.
Not the tenderoni. But so the whole setup for the Randy Moss trade was they traded for him on day 2. I think it was like day 2, day 3. And the Patriots were the first pick of that day.
Mm-hmm.
So they're calling Minnesota up.
No, he was in Oakland at that time.
Well, they're calling whoever he team was Mr. Davis.
He was in Oakland. He was in Oakland at that time.
So Bill's like, Mr. Davis, like, all right, like, are we doing this trade or not? He's like, yeah, but I want your second round pick. I want your day 2 pick. And he was like, but like that's the beginning of the thing. And on top of that, like the draft starts at 12. It's midnight right now.
It's like we were supposed to be asleep.
No, he's like, it's midnight right now. So we got to get this trade done before the draft starts. So they have till 12 that morning, like 12 afternoon. So 12 p.m. that afternoon to get this trade done. Randy in the building, assessed for a physical and all of that. Bill said, I blow this whole operation up. I have to do this to me.
Bill said, I will blow this whole operation up. He said, let me be happy.
I will shut this whole thing down. Try me.
He said, let me be happy.
Gotta reset.
I am happy.
I'm lagging.
He said, I am
there
happy.
We go. That's better. I was lagging. I ain't like that. So basically, so he calls up Miss Davis. Miss Davis like, yeah, okay. But he's like, it's 12. It's like the draft starts at 12 p.m., 12 in the afternoon. He's like, okay, that sounds like a you problem. They hang up the phone. So he calls Randy up. He's like, hey, Randy, this is Coach Belichick. Randy hangs up the phone. Bill calls him again. So Bill calls him again. He's like, Randy. He's like, hey, who is this? He's like, yo, it's Bill Belichick. I'm just calling. He's like, no. He's like, hey, stop playing. I was like, this is Joe. What is this? Hangs up the phone again.
Yo, Randy
Third time.
Moss hung up on Bill Belichick,
twice. Oh, so Bill calls him a third time. Is like, yo, Randy. So we just traded for you. You're coming to New England. He's like, all right. He said, well, here's the thing. I need you here by 9:00, so you can get your physical and we can get you in the building. He's like, but coach, I'm in Houston.
Listen, I don't care how you do it. You better get here.
He thought it was a whole prank. He didn't think it was real at all. So he said, I need you, but you need to get here so we can get your physical. He said, Randy bought the ticket, showed up at like 9:00 sharp, got past his physical, passed everything he needed to do.
That's crazy.
And then he asked Bill, like, yo, where's the playbook? He's like, okay. He's like, I mean, I guess I got it. We'll get you one. He's like, okay, I need the playbook like ASAP because I'm not about to go into training camp with Tom Brady looking stupid.
I mean, that's a fair statement.
He said, I need to know all these. I need to know the plays. I need to know the check downs. I need to know the hot routes. I need to know all of it because I ain't about to go out here and make no mistake.
That's a fair statement.
And we saw what happened.
Yeah, I want to say he still has his record is still the record for most receiving touchdowns in a season.
He still has that record. Yeah, he still has that record. Like Justin Jefferson got close. Not super close, but he got close. But I think Justin Jefferson's the closest so far to get to it. But yeah, he still has that record. And then and they were saying as the season went on, he said, I would too knowing Bill. He said, I would too knowing Bill don't like top flight receivers like that. It was a shock to everybody at the time. Facts. Nobody thought that was going to happen. And then they even said they even actually installed plays specifically for Randy. Because like originally they were just one set routes, but Randy asked like, "Yo, give me a choice." So they started giving him more choice routes in these route packages because they knew, he could easily take the top off of a defense, but if you got a guy sitting directly in the line of him, he's not going to be able to go 100% down the field because there's a guy in the way. He's just going to run right into him.
Fair.
So they asked him, so he asked like, "Yo, if you give me a choice, I know how to attack these guys. I can get open. I can get where you need me to be. I just need you to give me the opportunity."
Oh, for sure.
And that's what we saw is what we saw. Man's out here breaking records into his career.
Crazy they got that Super Bowl because of Eli. Bro, we all I'm gonna say is this.
Eli that's what it was.
Quick story. I was living in Alaska at the time. I was the only kid in my school who believed in the Patriots. And there were 3 kids. This is the first time I'm telling this story publicly. 3 kids who came up to me and was like, "Hey, Myron, you so confident in the Giants winning?" I said, "Yeah, I'm that confident." They said, "All right, you want to bet on it?" I said, "All right, what y'all talking about?" They said $2.50, like $2.50. I said, "So if I win, each of y'all owe me $2.50. They said, "Yep. But if the Patriots win, you owe each of us $2.50. I said, "Bet." Here's the bad part. I didn't have the money. I bet on credit and my hatred for the Patriots. Like, I was like, if they lose, I'm showing up to school. Empty. Boy, listen, it was gonna be a bad day for me that day. Luckily enough, Eli and David Tyree and Plaxico Burns and that defense came through for me. I pulled up on school on Monday, walking dead at all 3 of them dudes, looking for my $2.50. I didn't get it till the end of the day. But man, when I was cheesing, but yeah, don't ever do that, kids.
We at the Voice of College Football do not endorse underage gambling.
Listen,
we do not endorse nor support underage.
Do not. But another thing we want to talk about with Bill, because obviously Bill's one of the greatest coaches ever. apparently there's been a
Yeah,
rumor
all the
that
way to the Super Bowl for the only drastic L of the season. I would listen. I would have cried. I would have cried the entire weekend. It wouldn't have been just that night.
bro, do you understand how sick I would have been? I'd have been sitting in my room in the dark, just playing
The
all
amount of
the
money I would have
saddest,
owed that hotel room that night.
just all the saddest songs. Cause, bro, we already know how bad it gets when teams who think they're gonna win the Super Bowl have like these parties booked and think they're about to like, oh yeah, this is where we going. So then when they lose, they have to cancel everything. Imagine canceling the party that was planned for a 19-0 undefeated team.
That would have been the quietest party you ever would have been to. No, I'd have told the DJ go home. I'd have been in this whole building by myself with a glass just.
Hey, just one glass. But the rumor has been going around that apparently everybody's questioning that Bill may never coach again or might not even coach a game at UNC. Yeah.
Well, I did see. I did see when all this stuff started that that there was rumor that they were going to potentially let him go before the season started to save face.
Yeah. So here's what's been going down about it. So Reese Davis with the College Game Day podcast was speaking on it. He doesn't believe it's true, but here's his quote. He's like, "I've been wrong before. Not going to sit here and go at another reporter and say their sources are no good. They don't know X, Y, and Z. I will say this. From my interactions, from my talks, both on camera and off camera, the notion that it's even remotely possible that somehow he wouldn't coach seems preposterous to me. Now, here's the other kicker. The buyout for Bill's contract shifts from $10 million to only $1 million this summer before a game's even played. So it's like if the buyout shifts that much, and some people are speculating like, oh, that's in case like an NFL team comes and decides, we want to give Bill a chance that he can leave and it makes it an easy transition. I can hear that, but the timing of that buyout change, especially after everything that's gone down, because that was never a thing that was either highlighted or disclosed when Bill was first hired, but now that everything that's happening, now that's being something that's being highlighted and exposed. Yeah.
Listen, people are even saying that she's just going to ruin his legacy flat out. So speaking on some gambling and this particular issue. So according to New York Times or the Athletic from the New York Times.
I'm not an addict.
This is not an Urban Meyer situation.
Ew.
True. So basically, because all this news around Bill has been not about football, but more about him and his
personal life.
So, as it says, and if there's one thing, and basically talking about bettors at BetMGM, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're actually starting to lock in more on the offseason stuff than they are the actual win-loss record at UNC. They said bettors are locked into the UNC offseason drama. Before recent interviews and news, BetMGM was taking a majority of bets on UNC's win total over, but has seen a sharp decline since then, with almost every ticket on the under now.
Woo!
So Belichick's relationship with Hudson started gaining national attention around April 15th. And so on. So talking about Hudson's role with North Carolina on the day, BetMGM told The Athletic that among all bets on North Carolina's 7.5 win total before April 15th, 79% of bets were on the over since April 15th. However, a whopping 89% of bets on the 7.5 win total has come in on the under. So now everybody thinks, because of all of this distraction in all of this nonsense that's been going on.
You affecting parlays, Jordan. You are affecting parlays. Do you understand how crazy that is? You are messing with...
I'd probably put a bet in on the over, though, just because.
Yeah, we're
letting the top of college football programs now. Oh. Yeah.
We ain't letting nothing happen. Bill letting it happen. Like, what you mean? But affecting parlays is wild. Like, even
Affecting parlays is wild.
it ain't. Here's the bad part. Here's what makes this honestly even worse. This technically isn't a scandal. Urban
At all?
Meyer, scandal. What you call it? Pete Carroll, scandal. John, which one? Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh, scandal.
Scandal.
Jerry Sandusky and all of them, scandal.
Chip Kelly, scandal.
Chip Kelly, scandal.
Right.
Like, he's having up. Like, I'm saying, bro, every single one of those coaches, at least when stuff was going down, it was legit a scandal. It was like they're cheating the game in some form or fashion, which is why parlays started getting affected. This is, at the end of it, at the core, even though it is weird, even though it is very weird, we can both agree on that. It is a consensual relationship. And the fact that it is a consensual relationship that is affecting parlays for the football team that demand coaches.
Check this out. Somebody else said, even with one of the best coaches of all time, there hasn't been much action on UNC until Belichick's CBS interview clip went viral. Since then, we've had a flurry of activity on their season-long win total, but with a pessimistic view, 75% of wagers have been on the under. Belichick's Patriots were famous for being able to block out the noise, but with a distracted UNC team, our bettors are expecting a performance more reminiscent of Belichick's Browns.
Oh, Lord.
The Browns?
His Brown stint was so bad.
Even with the early action on the over, recent surge on the under, North Carolina does not rank in the top 3 for most bet win totals overall. Ohio State currently leads the way, followed by Michigan and Colorado. Is it Colorado continues strong action with Deion Sanders?
We're going to talk about that later.
Matter of fact, with North Carolina after hiring a huge name. So Mr. Sanders wasn't as proven as Belichick as the coach, but he was bringing in a lot of players that were successful with his prior team. So, and Johnny Bosa race with Colorado bettors would bet every game they played. We'd go in with a ton of money on them on the money line, especially when they were a dog. That's probably what we'll see with UNC and Belichick, at least early on. Between Belichick and Coach Prime, I'm not sure who will be getting more action on the college circuit.
Man,
it's I didn't expect that. I didn't expect to see that today.
Sheesh. All I'm saying is it's wild to think about it. And honestly, I feel like this would be a good segue because it's talking about the win-loss total. Here's the thing, and I know you're going to see in a moment, but and it's going to seem like we're jumping around because I know we have to dock it up, but this is it.
Really push your P.
He really is. This is also going to affect the win-loss total because the ACC is gunning for Bill, and here's the reason why. So, saw an article on Bleacher Report, and it was like coaches are eyeing up Bill, essentially putting the scope to him. Like they got their UNC, whoever has UNC on their schedule, they got that game on lock. And this quote came from an ACC coordinator who apparently did not want to drop his name to The Athletic. I have a statement about that later. But he says, it's Bill Belichick. I think it's great for college football. It's really important for all of us. Hold up. Let me first disclaimer. Voice of college football, please do not get mad at me. I am just reading a quote about what I'm about to say. Kids, cover your ears. But he says it's really important for all of us who have come up in college football to kick his ass this year. Now, I'm going to say this. One, it ain't like we ain't expect that. We knew that coming into it, a lot of coaches would want that mentality of, hey, yo, we coming at Bill. We want to beat Bill Belichick. Everybody wants that. It's a legacy thing. You want to be able to say you beat a legend.
At that part, how you gonna be in the same division, know you got him on your schedule, and think, oh, nah, I don't really want to play him. What you mean you don't want to play him?
What they always say, to be the king, you got to beat the king. Like you got to go through the top dog.
Not just that, you got a guy that's a legend at the professional stage, but a novice at this stage. So we have to show him what college football is. You might have watched it. You might have done the recruiting here, but you ain't never really been a part of it. You're a part of it now, buddy.
It's like, yeah, you was great as a pro. That don't mean you're gonna be great here.
They ain't ready for Bill. Listen,
here's the real question: is Bill ready for them?
Here's the thing: is Bill wearing the cutoff sleeve hoodie?
I've
Because
seen him in a puffer. I've
his
seen him in a
PR,
puffer.
his PR rep might change his image.
Like, listen, I've seen him in a lot of things. I've seen this man in shorts on Instagram. Ugh, scary.
That was weird.
Very scary.
We're not meant to see your leg.
But I'm also I have this thing about it. I don't like when coaches or reporters will drop quotes like this, but you don't want to attach your name to it.
You gotta attach your name.
You gotta attach your name to that, bro. You gotta stand on business. Like if you make a statement like that, we want to kick Bill's ass. It's like, yes, you gotta stand on business. You gotta attach your name. Say yes. University of Notre Dame, this is what we want to do, or NC State. Yes, this is what we want. Boston College, we want to. All of us.
Put your name on it, especially if that article sets a precedent and the ACC's competition actually steps up.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the thing. You've had what? Florida State, Syracuse, Clemson,
yeah,
blank.
In terms of what, like national championships?
Oh no, just competition, legitimate competition in the ACC. It has been those 4 teams.
Those 4, and then every other year, Virginia Tech. Then
every year, Virginia Tech.
NC State every other year, and then Boston College every few years.
And Boston College only really against Clemson.
No, I'll get Boston College against anybody. Like I said, every few years, every couple of years, Boston College will have a decent squad that can hold up against anybody in the ACC.
I'll give you that. Because to be honest, I think the squad that they were supposed to have, their every few year squad, was this past year.
Yeah. Now, if
they underperformed.
Now I'm gonna speak on behalf of you because you actually gonna enjoy this one. Now, if a certain school in South Bend, Indiana, that is in the ACC and every other sport could leave the independent and join the ACC, that would be interesting. That would be lovely. Instead of using that independent schedule to get into the playoff.
Whatever. I'm sick of y'all.
But I just had to bring that up because the parlays are getting affected, and it's like the parlays are changing. Everybody's now not taking Bill. Now you got coaches out here saying, "Nah, we are gunning for Bill." The landscape's changed, Bill, and your kids, your team
should have had one made for him as soon as he walked in the office. And I think when he went and signed, I think they gave him one.
They gave him one, but he pulled out his old one from when he was a child. He pulled out his old his old sweatshirt, crew neck shirt from. I don't want to be disrespectful with the 70s.
From 1963.
It was like around there. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's vintage. It could sell. But do I want it? Hell no.
Anybody else in this chat?
Respectfully, they
76 people watching.
I think
them one. I don't think they want.
Absolutely not. Excuse my language. I'm sorry, but nah.
Probably smells like mothballs and regret.
Smells like dust mites. Dust mites.
What's going on, my God?
I love it. But speaking of, I'll say this. Since Bill and Jordan want to detract, we're going to highlight some of the kids. And one thing I do want to highlight is the weekly offer sheet for this past week. So, as of the 12th till today, I'm just going to say today.
Drum roll, please.
Yep, 12 to the 20. I'm going to say it's 12 to the 20. So, for the class of 2026, and I think you're going to like what we got going on here, man. Where is it? There we go. Tar Heel. So, class of 2026, you have Ashton Blatt, an edge rusher, 6'4", 233-star. You have Cedric Cuomi, I want to say. Cuomi. He's a running back who's at 5'11", 210, doesn't have any stars, but honestly, that don't mean nothing. Just means you're in an area that hasn't seen you yet. And then you have Joshua Mensah, 6'1", 175-pound, 3-star cornerback. That is this week for 2026. 2027, you have Ezekiel Ayingbale, an edge rusher, 4-star, 6'3", 258. Then you have Tristan Dare, offensive lineman, 6'5", 285, 3-star. Roman Igiwabuke. I had to practice that like earlier today.
It's all right.
Igiwabuke, linebacker, 6'3", 224 star.
It was before choir study.
Then Darius Johnson, cornerback, 6'1", 155-pound, 3-star. Do you know how good you got to be if you are 150 pounds and you got 3 stars at corner?
That's a solid corner.
And he's 6'1", so he's like a thin corner. Think about that.
Sometimes you prefer the lanky corners though.
I get it. I'm just saying.
Lanky dudes, like I'm gonna hate to put him in a one-on-one situation as a tackler, but some of them are surprising you.
Like he's gonna be great, but I'm just saying this: if he got to go up against a receiver that's 6'4", 210, you're getting bodied probably. Then let's keep going. You got Caden McCarty, edge, 6'3", edge rusher who's 6'3", 217 pounds, 3 stars. And then you have Mikhail McCreary, athlete.
I got to go put somebody back to bed.
Oh no!
Up out of his bedroom.
Oh
and
no!
And thinks I ain't seen him.
Oh no! Not the little one. Not even
because he was standing there, right? And I look over and see him. He steps over to the side and gets down like I couldn't see him.
All right. So while our co-host, he has gone away, and we're gonna go over this list with him. But I'm gonna go over this list with y'all and let y'all know these names, bro. Because not only that, we have Nathaniel Mensah. Yes, Nathaniel Mensah is Joshua Mensah's younger brother. He is listed as an athlete, 6'2", 165 pounds, 3 stars. Then you have Caden Scott, offensive tackle, 6'7", 292 pounds, 4-star offensive tackle, offensive lineman. Jesus Christ, man. Next, Jaden Walt Green, cornerback, 5'11", 185 pounds, no stars. Damani Warren, 6'4", 210, receiver with 4 stars. Now, I do like the fact that they offered, now that you're back, I do like the fact that they offered both Joshua Mensah and his younger brother, Nathaniel Mensah. I do think that's kind of cool. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's always nice when you can get 2 brothers on the same squad, especially if they hard work like that.
Yeah. Then you got Asala Wiliava. He is a 6'2", 202-pound safety, 4-star. And then Kenyon Yarber, 6 foot, 156-pound corner. And then for class of 2028, none of these gentlemen have stars, so don't look for stars from me, but that doesn't mean they are not potentially great athletes. You have Micah Hanna, 6'2", 165-pound athlete. Jordan Kirkpatrick, 6'1", 170-pound corner. Michael Ramos, 6'2", 170-pound corner. Jordan Sly Jr., I think his father played in the NFL because I feel like that name. Okay. And you know what? It still might be. No, because it still might be him. He might have named him after his grandfather.
Nah, Joey Sly's the kicker.
Still, that doesn't mean that couldn't be his kid.
I'm not saying that. I don't think these two are related. I just threw out a name that I remember.
Okay.
Plus, it's not spelled the same.
Yeah, fair.
At least I don't think so. I'm not.
I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. That's fine.
We both could be. It's all right.
It wouldn't be the first time in my life. Hey, dude, he's an athlete, 6'1", 160 pounds. Karan Williams, 5'11", 165-pound cornerback. And then class of 2029. This kid is in 8th grade, apparently up here in the Ohio area. Mekhi Buchanan, 6 foot, 170-pound running back. Bro, you getting offers in 8th grade? Like, I know that's a thing.
Listen,
Jesus,
bro.
Cause
remember, Baby Gronk was getting offers in like 6th grade.
I know it's a thing, bro, but
Like
what?
Baby Gronk wasn't even out of high, even wasn't even out of elementary. You think he was still in rec when he was getting offers from school?
Bro, I get it's a thing that happens, but Jesus Christ. Like, what numbers do you have to put up to be getting recognized in offers in 8th grade and seventh? Like, what were you doing? Who was the competition you were against? How were you doing it? I need to know those answers. But that has been this week's Tar Heel Weekly offer sheet. And like I said, man, this one that threw out to me was Caden Scott, bro. For a class of 2027, Joel, 6'7", 292 offensive lineman. And this boy's just finished his sophomore year.
And he's a tackle. That make like that is
It makes
that is a
sense.
tackle.
I
He's-
mean,
and by the time he gets to college, but once he gets into college, that 292 is going to be like 315.
bro,
He's
and
gonna
I'm
probably
talking
he's gonna probably 6'8", 6'9", about
three,
300, 305. They're gonna get him in college, put him on that regiment, put him on them proteins.
bro.
And he's gonna go from he's gonna be 6'8", he's gonna be 6'8", 320
Even if
with
he
a
doesn't,
with a 30% body fat percentage.
hey, even if he doesn't go to North Carolina, I would be very surprised, barring injury. Injury would be obviously a reason, but outside of injury and overall tomfoolishness, like just making a dumb mistake, I'd be very surprised if Caden Scott doesn't make it to the pros. As long as he doesn't do nothing stupid to jeopardize his career and he's not injured, just off his build alone, because let's be honest, let's be real, y'all. We all know some people who have made it to the league just because they fit the size prototype. Whether it's baseball, basketball, football, hockey, you name it. We all know somebody who's made it to the professional level of an athletic venue just because they fit the height, weight, and build of a prototypical specimen for that sport.
Listen, because college and professional coaches, they have nightmares over 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" guys, especially if they don't have an injury history. If you don't hear anything about injury histories outside of like little ticky tack things,
bro, they have nightmares and they have dreams about that.
Both nightmares if you missed out on them, dreams if you get them.
That part. And I'm just looking at it, I'm like, bro, seeing stuff like this, I'm like, that's crazy. And you're just sitting there looking at him like, yeah, if you want it, bro, it's there. If you want it, it's there.
It really is.
I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know how much you want me to spoon feed it to you. If you, and what they always say, coaches always say, I can teach you technique. I can't teach you size.
That's it. I can't teach you physique, but I can teach you how to play the game.
It's like that's why we've seen so many people who have converted from other sports, like especially like basketball forwards to tight ends in football. It's like, bro, you're 6'8", 6'9". I can teach you how to be a tight end. I can teach you the techniques to do it. I can't teach 6'9".
Because I can teach you to be good at 6'9", but I can't teach you to be 6'9".
Right.
So I can teach you how to make this work the best way, but I can't teach you how to be this.
And then, obviously, oh, wait, got a comment. He says, yep. And then, following that up, because of the offer sheet, we got to talk about the transfer portal. And not a whole lot actually gone down for Carolina this past week. So, Liam Boyd finally has a team. He is actually going to UNC Charlotte. Mally Harmick is still in the transfer portal, but doesn't have a team. CJ Murphy and Grady Sherrill have entered that transfer portal as well, but do not have new teams. And the one new person coming in to North Carolina is linebacker from Boise State, Andrew Simpson. Who?
And I'm gonna say, hey. I've seen him.
Hey.
I've seen him.
Hey.
That
boy nice.
That boy nice.
That boy is nice. That boy is nice. 3 years, y'all. If y'all don't know, in 3 years at Boise State, 150 tackles, 36 tackles for loss, 15 sacks, 6 forced fumbles, 3 interceptions, and 3 fumble recoveries. Now, he also has 5 pass deflections too. Just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there in case y'all wanted to know about that too. Like
he hit.
He hit. He is hitting.
He
hitting. Like go watch Boise State's playoff games. You'll find him.
Yeah.
Go watch Boise State just regular season last year. You'll find him.
Number 10. You'll find him.
You will find him. That boy plays.
He beat
that
up.
boy. That boy knows how to play.
But, all right. So
the deep dive.
So
you want me to pull up the comment?
Recently, pull up the comments. So recently, we've come across a couple of comments on a couple of videos recently that I feel like we just needed to address a little bit because I feel like there was a bit of misunderstanding with the message that was sent out from us. Now, nothing against the individual that commented because we're not going to call him out. We're not going to say nothing he said was wrong, nothing like that. I think there was a little bit of misunderstanding when it came down to the NIL contract situation. When we said before that in this NIL situation, in this NIL world that we got, where you're getting this money and you're being offered these contracts, what needs to happen is if you're going to sign a contract, you need to be able to uphold and honor the contract that you've been given. And I get his argument of NFL contracts are bad. And even the coaches aren't honoring their contracts, which I agree. It was messed up that you have coaches that have these guys come in that don't even stay there after a year. But you got to remember, it's a two-sided coin to this. It's a very two-sided coin because one, you have coaches that are dipping out on players as soon as they get there, and that's just messed up on their end. However, you also have players that are dipping out on coaches because they don't like the coach, or they just don't like where they at, or they don't like the school. I get that. But if you're signing a multi-million-dollar contract to be there for 4 years, even talking about how the NBA and the players are now controlling their contracts and controlling where they go, neither one of us are against college players making their money. I want you to make your money. I want you to, if you want to go, if it's a better deal somewhere else, cool. The problem is, though, when you get to the professional level, and once again, I agree with Buddy that the NFL contracts are terrible. However, when you got players that have pull and you know that there's people are looking for you, we'll even take Kirk Cousins as a perfect example. Kirk Cousins gets lucrative contracts really wherever he goes. But especially with the recent situation in Atlanta, and other players have done it before. Brock Purdy just signed one. You have players now that have no trade clauses in their contracts. That means if a team wants to trade them away, they have to full on agree that that's where they want to go. Facts. If they don't want to go there, guess what? The team stuck with them, or they just released them flat out. And on each other's ends, there's a loss that's going to happen for both people. If you're released as a player, you lost out on whatever's left money in that contract.
You get your guaranteed, but whatever other incentives you have,
all that other incentives are going. Facts. Kirk Cousins got Jerry Maguire doing his deals.
Facts.
Whoever his agent is needs to go in the NFL Hall of Fame. I'll say it now and I'll say it forever.
His agent and Shohei Ohtani's agent, because I'm still tripping over the fact that Shohei got a $700 million deal over 10 years, and he got $680 million of that deferred to be tax-free afterwards.
Listen, whatever it is, it's crazy. But at the end of the day, and we'll take the Nico Imaliaba thing. I get that you were trying to negotiate for higher money. However, you didn't put up the numbers to get the higher money, so you left. Problem is, when you sign when you sign a contract, there needs to. I don't have a problem with you leaving, but my thing is, if you sign a legal document and you leave, you've lost that money from the NIL you just had because you're no longer there. Or that's what my thing is. The punishment should be for if you have an NIL with a school, once you leave the school, you don't have that NIL no more. It's gone. And you have to re-sign. And if you're going to sign with that same place, you have to re-sign a new contract at the new school. Yeah. The other problem is if you're going to hop from school to school every 6 months, then you need to be penalized in some kind of figure, because that's what's going to happen to you when you go to the professionals. Even with the NBA, people are talking about, yeah, the NBA, you can run your own contracts and players are able to control where they go. However, people honestly don't like how that's set up, because you got players hopping on these teams together, and now these balances are all thrown off. And there's no real competition in some of these conferences or some of these divisions, because you have six superstars on one team together, because that's where they all wanted to be. And then the six superstar team ends up being the worst one out there.
Right.
Nobody wants to
Yeah.
see that. We want to see competition. This past playoffs has been the most competitive we've seen in years.
And I'll say this again, like you, I agree with Buddy that I'm not against any college athlete making their money. I'm not. I've been a college athlete. I know it. And I'm all for college athletes making their money. What I'm not for is y'all trying to scam your money. I'm not for y'all trying to just get over and not honor the contracts, because at the end of the day, your word is the last thing you have. Honor your word, honor your contract. And if there is something better for you, then by all means, yes, make sure you get your better option, but also honor what you did beforehand, because at the end of the day, nobody can say you ain't a man of your word. If I sign an NIL deal saying I'm going to go play at least 1 year at the University of Texas, I'm going to go play 1 year at the University of Texas. That's what I'm going to do. And then after Texas, if I want to go somewhere else, cool. If I sign a 2-year deal to go play at Oklahoma, I'm going to go play 2 years at Oklahoma. Then I can dip, because that's what I gave to them. And yes, I understand when bro said, but coaches get to leave and do everything else. Coaches should be held accountable for this too.
Absolutely.
And if you're going to leave early in a contract, if you're going to leave early, you have to buy yourself out. They do it all the time. You want to talk about the NBA? That's what Russell Westbrook has done multiple times. Every time he's been traded to Utah, he personally spent his own money to buy himself out of Utah, so he did not have to play for them. And that way he could go play somewhere else. If you are a college athlete and you do not want to be at this school anymore, but you have an NIL deal.
Facts. Trying to spam NIL deals and dropping out balling. I'm like, saying. We NIL now. Facts. And tell you the truth, here's another perfect example with the coaching situation. Sometimes you can't blame the coach. Take Marshall. Marshall is a perfect example of how that works. Marshall had a coach that wanted to stay and was waiting on an extension. The players wanted him there, but the school itself, the organization itself, didn't rehire him, so he had to leave. And players left. Some players left and followed him where he went, which I would have expected them to do, because that's the coach that
I would
they wanted.
I would expect half of them. I would expect half everybody who had the means and the funds to do it. I would have expected to do it. Unless they were just really that tied to Marshall, they really wanted to go to Marshall. That was either their number one, or that's just financially the best thing for them, or family wise, that's closer to their family.
Some people decide, you know what? Some people decide, despite whatever coach we got, I'm gonna tough this out. Cool, right. Nothing against it.
Respect it.
And then when you have some coaches, I can't remember what his name was, because all this same thing with coaches hopping and skipping and jumping from team to team happened the same time that this transfer portal mess started. I can't remember what his name was, but the problem was you had coaches that had new classes coming in, but the same classes they had before they got there, they had maybe a quarter of them at best.
Yeah.
So if you're having to literally work with a brand new group of people every single season because you have no continuity, because everybody's hopping and skipping and jumping and going from squad to squad every year.
What's stopping you as a coach from jumping from squad to squad?
Exactly. What's stopping you from jumping from place to place if it's a better situation for you? It goes from the top down. Sometimes you have to blame the organization, and we can definitely blame the NCAA for allowing this to be as loosey goosey as it is.
Oh, we're not sitting there saying the NCAA is a perfect system in that we should go back to where kids can't make their money. Absolutely not. The NCAA exploits a lot.
And then on top of that, even the NCAA even acknowledges that this isn't a perfect system and they haven't gotten it figured out, which cool. Thank you for picking up admitting your fault. However, after all these years of taking advantage of these athletes and having them bend over backwards, sacrificing themselves every day for no financial compensation up until recently, No, I have nothing wrong. I have nothing against you wanting to go from somewhere else that's going to give you a better deal. Because sure, if you can go, if you play for 1.5, let's say at North Carolina State, play a year, play 2 years, then you find out that Wisconsin is going to pay you four, by all means, go where the better deal is, especially if you feel like this is going to be a better team, better looks, better money, better coaching. Take the advantage of it. I have
Right.
nothing against that. But the problem comes in when you have guys, like I said, like Nico and Maliava, who go from a good situation in Tennessee, then you are advised wrong by holding out of practices, by not showing up to meetings, by your one of your parents trying to do a backdoor deal in your name and being bad about it and getting caught. And now you lost 90% of your contract going to UCLA instead.
And just
You went from making $8 million in 4 years to $200,000 a year
here, and here's where it's at, bro.
after
Because
tax. You went to the place with the highest tax rate.
and here's
On top of that,
and here's what it's like, bro. Because and I feel like you're gonna agree with me 100% when I say this. Before the NIL things and everything got approved, NCAA was running the show, just basically doing all the backdoor deals, keeping all the money, right? Now that everything's been approved, we are on the full 180 spectrum of the players trying to exploit the NCAA. Like we are on that side of the spectrum where every player that gets an NIL deal more than likely, or most players, are trying to exploit the NCAA for all it's worth for all the years that they've done it. I mean, I get how we've gotten there because a lot of players have been exploited, but that's not the right way either. And we got to try and find that middle ground because, yes, at the end of the day, the NCAA is $1 billion industry, bro. We know it's always going to generate money, regardless. It's always going to, until a true viable option is developed and created in this world to eradicate the NCAA, that is always going to be the most for sure pipeline to get to the professional level. So, how do we go from the NCAA fully exploiting it? Yep. Stick to the man. How do we go from the NCAA fully exploiting these kids to the kids trying to fully exploit the whole system and it just doesn't look bad at all and we don't even get a good product on the field? To that middle ground where the NCAA is cool with the money they're making, but the kids are getting paid. The kids are getting paid exactly what they're worth and what they deserve because we all know not every kid is going to the pros. 90% of these players, 95% of them are not going to make it to the pros. Men, women, kids, whoever. So, yes, while they're in college making money for these schools, let's make sure they get funded appropriately. But also, let's not sit here and try to scam them because guess what? You wouldn't do that at your job. You know you'd get fired. You wouldn't do like military contracts. Y'all wouldn't do that. You know you're getting kicked out. Any legal binding contract, y'all try to start scheming off of the top because you're mad that the system's been exploiting you. You know when you get caught, that's on you. And because it's a legal binding contract, you're held to that. So that's really what it comes down to and what we've been trying to preach. We're not against y'all making y'all money. But what we don't want to see happen to y'all is y'all end up in situations like Nico, where now legally they can take all of that and you don't get none of the money.
and like, and luckily enough, because we've talked about it before, because it came back, we talked about it a few weeks ago, that the NCAA is currently working on having it set up to where the schools can directly pay the players. They're starting to set up a whole separate fund. Right now, it's for some of the bigger, it's for the bigger schools in the FBS. So it's not all the way across the NCAA, but they're working on it to where I think it was what 250 million.
Yeah.
Like a pool of 250 million to where they're just able to pay the players and all they have, and if the players are still able to go out and get NILs.
Mm-hmm.
So they're basically going to have a salary from the school plus whatever NIL money they get. All they have to do is just report the NILs that they have. That's all they have to do. Now, I don't know how financially it's going to work. I don't know whether you reporting the NIL is going to deduct from whatever finances you're getting from the school. I don't know how that's going to work. There's not a whole lot of detail on the situation. but it does seem like they're starting to work to something to where these kids are are starting to directly benefit from the money that these schools are making off of them. Because you got to remember, some of the greats in the NCAA who were just signing autographs. Reggie Bush's situation is the most ridiculous.
Bruh.
How in the world are you going to strip me of my Heisman because you
We were
found out I signed a
we
shirt?
were peeved about that for years because it made no sense. You took a Heisman from this man for something that didn't occur on the field. He wasn't cheating. He wasn't using PEDs. He wasn't using steroids. He didn't spygate. He did not have anybody on the other side giving him the signals of what defenses he was running against. Reggie Bush was that good, and you, as the NCAA committee, said he had to give up his Heisman for his athletic ability.
All because somebody decided you signing my shirt shouldn't be free. That's it. That's it. You had players getting whole out suspended from the NCAA. Dudes were dudes would sign merch and sell merch on their own.
And what and what
And
made it
because the
even
school wasn't seeing it, despite the fact that I paid for the merch, or this is merch you gave me. This is my stuff. I can do what I want with it. And these are guys that weren't even at the sometimes some guys weren't even at the school anymore.
and I think what makes it even worse is also the inconsistency of the NCAA with that. Because let's not forget, Reggie Bush was 06, 07. Johnny Manziel was 2011, 2012, 2013, just 5, 6 years later.
Guess
We
who's Heisman
knew,
trip?
we knew Johnny was doing it. It wasn't a secret. Y'all didn't strip him of his.
So guess whose Heisman didn't get stripped? Johnny Manziel's. And Johnny was public with it.
Johnny was public with it. There's a whole documentary right now on Netflix, Untold, Johnny Football, where he admits to everything that he did. But not once was his Heisman stripped. The man went
Dude
on
was
to
going
get
to pay,
drafted perfectly fine. Didn't
dude
draft
was
stock
getting
didn't even drop.
dude was going to pay promotions with celebrities. Like, come on, man. Dude was holding
He
parties, events, all kinds of stuff he was
he
getting
was
paid for. But
he,
once again, at the end of the day, we are not against these kids making money. Just go ahead and
never been there.
bro in the comment.
If you ever see this
Let you
video
know we're
again,
not on the side. Yeah, we one go ahead and let you know we're not on the side of the organization. We on the side of if you sign a contract, you uphold the contract.
be a man about it.
And
Honor
and
your
I'm
contract.
my thing is, I think for Nico's sake, and this is me talking. What I think Nico should have done is played one more year in Tennessee, then see where his money was going to go.
They was crazy.
Okay,
There was some crazy pocket hating and watching. Like, hold on, he getting money without us? Oh no!
that's it.
Hey, I had to hit it with the ace mate. Oh no!
Oh no,
Nah,
that's
but it really
crazy.
was. And again, like my co-host said, I'm also not against the players making their money. I'm not with the system. I am with the sense of these are young men who are also about to go into life, and I'm teaching them this. I want to help give this information. You sign a contract, abide by it. But also, you know what? If you're looking for a better option, make sure you look for your better option the right way while still honoring where you're at. Nobody's
That's,
saying you can't go look for a better option. We all do it as adults. We all will have a job, but if we get to that point where we feel like the job's not appreciating us enough and we can look for something better, we start to research and look around. And then if we find something or an option that we feel is better, we make sure we do it in the most professional manner. We give ourselves some time. We give the job some time. That's why they say the 2 weeks notice. I know some jobs do not honor it. But one thing, a good job, a good management team, if you give them a 2 weeks notice, they will honor that because at least then you're like, oh, hey, I am, damn, it's 10:15. At least then they're like, you know what? You're giving us ample time. You're
that's
giving us
it.
time to look for a replacement. We honor your time here. We thank you. I hope you wish you the best luck on your endeavors. And you're doing it in a professional manner because then you don't burn bridges down the line. That's the other thing. You don't burn bridges and you don't burn connections because you never know down the line when that's going to come back to help you or hurt you. Sorry, I got on my soapbox for a little bit.
So one more set of comments that we had to talk about because we didn't really put
Oh.
it on the docket, I think, but we had to talk about it real quick.
Mhm.
We had to talk about Coach Prime real quick.
Oh
So
yeah.
we brought up with the NFL when Belichick said this was about to be the NFL's 33rd team. We brought up Coach Prime in the situation of trying to build a professional organization. Somebody decided to say that Coach Prime is not a good coach. That a 13-12 record is sorry and 1-8 against what was it, bigger teams
Yeah, he said
or ranked teams
1-8 against top 25 teams.
against top
13 and
25 teams
12. He said Coach Prime is not good. He's right. He's
is
like,
not.
I've lived in Colorado. He's bad.
He's that people keep stop talking about like he's a great coach. Here's the thing: one year one in Colorado easily matched the win total from the last 5 years in Colorado, and at least in his second season had Colorado ranked and ranked in a position enough if they kept winning, they would have been in the playoffs last year
Yep.
had they not had one of the worst offensive lines in the nation for 2 straight seasons.
That part.
Other thing is also produced a Heisman winning player in his second season at Colorado. Also had a Heisman level quarterback by his second season. They were talking about him a Heisman first season. Now, did he get into the voting? No. But he also produced at least 2 first round level talents going into the draft. Now, we saw what happened with Shador in that dumb situation.
But also, but remember, Jimmy Horn also got picked up.
Jimmy Horn got drafted. Almost, I think everybody that was in that draft has either been drafted or is an undrafted free agent somewhere. 2 of them are in Tampa Bay with Shiloh, his son, and Willie Green, the defense edge rusher. Both of them are in Tampa Bay. I think another one's in Miami. I think another one signed with the Rams. So the draft class he had after his 2 seasons, all are on NFL teams right now. Now, whether they make those teams at the end of the day, that's up to them and up to the effort they put in. However, the amount of professional talent that he's had come there to help mentor these players on a regular basis is a lot different than anywhere else. I think the only other place that probably could have pulled that would have been either Ohio State or Alabama prior to now. Georgia probably from time to time, but you don't hear about it. You had Terrell Owens, one of the top 5 receivers in NFL history. You have Warren Sapp, one of the best defensive tackles on your coaching staff. Hands down, one of the best defensive tackles also in NFL history on your coaching staff. So the problem that we get is O-line was trash. Now, we're not going to sit here and say that Shador was not at fault in cases, because there were times where he should have just got rid of the ball and didn't. Because he's not a mobile scrambling quarterback like that. He can run if he needs to, but he's not great at it. The problem that comes in is you're looking at the fact that yes, he is 13-12. I get it. He's only one game above being 500. I get that. But he's also come into one of the worst organizational situations in the nation when it comes to an FBS team. Colorado won 5 games in 5 seasons. So and you expected a Nick Saban-like turnaround in 2 years. Now, I will also say to your benefit at this point, this year here is going to be his proving year because Shador's gone, Shiloh's gone, Travis is gone. The three best players, arguably on that squad, that made that squad anywhere close to as good as it was, outside of the coaching and the ensemble they had around it, is gone. So what's going to happen this season? If he continues to have winning seasons post this, and it continues to improve and get better despite those guys being gone, then I don't think anybody can say anything to anyone about anything. Like, you have to admit that Dion did a good job. He did the same thing in Jackson State. Jackson State has gone to their national championship for the last 2 seasons since he's been gone. Jackson State has been a top contender since he's left, since he changed that organization, brought light to what they had going on down there. They are now continuous competitors. So you can't sit here and say that he's not done a great job. It's just because you're used to mediocrity.
So I'm gonna give you something too. I'm gonna give you something real quick. Would you consider Dabo Swinney a great coach?
I
At
agree.
least,
Shall gonna be nice in Tampa.
would you agree Dabo Swinney is a great coach, or at least one of the best coaches in the last decade?
I agree that Dabo is a good coach. Yeah.
Dabo, in his first 2 seasons with Clemson, 15-12. Would you agree Kirby Smart is a great coach right now?
Everybody can agree that.
Kirby Smart, his first 2 years, 16-9. Deion's 13-12. Those are
He's
two.
on target with two of the best coaches in the
He's
nation.
on target with two of the better coaches in the nation. If you would have said that Dabo Swinney is trash after 2 seasons, you said Kirby Smart is trash after 2 seasons. To be quite frank, you're an idiot. I'm going to say it because that's dumb. You're literally basing it only off of the record that Deion has. But you're sitting there saying, oh, he's 1-8 against top 25 teams, but you're not taking into account. Let's all be real. We know that O-line was trash.
Because check this, because the only person that has made a massive turnaround in their first 3 years that I know of is Nick Saban. First year went 7-6. Second year went 12-2, and then 14-0 in his third.
Nah, I got one better for you. I found out. The only one and crazy enough, Urban Meyer. First year at Florida, 9-3. Second year at Florida, 13-1 in the national championship. Urban Meyer.
About saying Nick Saban got a national championship in his third season.
Right. So you want to sit there and say that Coach Prime is not a great coach. I would concede to that statement had Deion be 6-16. If Colorado was that bad, I would consider that for that statement. But
now,
when he's not, and I'm like,
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I thought he was too. After Watson and Lawrence left, I thought he was too. But they've been good. They still produce great teams every season. The other thing, I'm not going to sit here and act like no, they didn't get mud stomped by BYU in that bowl game. They did.
They did.
They got mud stomped 100%. It was bad. But if you and I'm not going to say that whoever this is doesn't know football or nothing like that, but if you play a sport enough, you can tell when a team came to play and another team didn't. Colorado,
that ball game they didn't. That ball game they didn't. But let's also
the only people who came to play that game was Shador and Travis.
Facts. But I'm gonna also say this: how you gonna sit there and say the man's a bad coach? What bad coach? I'm sorry, I'm gonna be honest. I've never known a bad coach to be able to take a team with an O-line that bad from 4-8 to 9-3 in one 4-8 your first year, which matched the total that Colorado had in the previous 5, to 9-3 the second year with the same squad. That's not a bad coach. Let's keep that up there. Before you want to be disingenuous to be like, oh, he's 1-8 against top 25 teams and everything like that. Yes, that is a record, but please look at that number and tell me how 4-8 to 9-3 is not a massive improvement.
Hold on a second. You know what else I just found out? You know what else I just found out?
What's up?
Did you know that educationally, the 2024 spring semester, Colorado had a record high average GPA for the first time in team history? The team averaged a 2.932 GPA for the first time in college in their history. The team averaged higher than a 2.8. The first time in the team's history.
And a 2.9, for those of you who don't know, that's damn near a B. I'm sorry, my language. That is a B. essentially.
They're all averaging
Because a
at least
3.0,
B or higher.
yeah, a 3.0 is a B like on a flat rate. 2.9, all right, C plus if you want to be nitpicky.
Like,
I'm rounding that up.
and like I said, that's a high B or low, that's a
Right.
low B,
That's a low B.
mid.
It's a low B.
But the fact is, the team as a whole averaged a B.
So
Or higher.
not only are they improving on the field,
They
they're also
improved.
improving off the field in the classroom where Dion said, I'm going to make you men. So you're getting athletes who aren't just there just for football and don't come out of there with knowledge. They're actually taking their studies seriously. And that's all I can ask of a college coach, to be truthful. Because we've seen certain college coaches who are just like, listen, you're just here to get to the league. Like that's it. Like they don't care about your education. They don't care about anything you do. As long as you can play football, I don't care whether if you're failing classes or not. But Dion's making sure, like, nah, I know the way this game works, and I know not everybody's gonna make it. So if you're not gonna make it, I want to make sure you are a man who can hold his head high and can do his thing out there in the real world and run your own business to do your own thing and make sure that you know how to operate and conduct yourself and also work accordingly. Because we know the video where he had one of his linemen, I want to say one of his linemen, I can't remember if it was defensive or offensive, but the man was going to run a business back home. And so Dion had him practice his speech and like his elevator speech and everything to get comfortable with giving these presentations in front of his teammates. He's like, nah, you want a business? We're going to help you get this right. You're going into a job interview, we're going to get you right. So he's making these, that's the signs of a great coach. It's not just the win-loss records, man. It's what you do with these young men and young women off the field, giving them lessons and guidance off of that they can take and be better people in society. Because as athletes, you know this, bro. I know this. We're not going to be able to play sports forever. Mm-hmm. But you know what I can be forever? I can be a good human being. I can be an understanding human being. I can have skills and I can pass down to the next generation long after I'm done playing.
So yeah, like before you look at it, I understand that 13 and 12 doesn't look impressive, but some of the best coaches in the nation start off around that way, especially in a new program. You have to rebuild something. This is a rebuild in Colorado. You're not going to see something like you would see with Saban in Alabama or Urban in Florida. Those were teams that were already set up and good by the time they got there. All you had to do was just set up the coaching staff and set up the right people in the right places and figure out what you had. Nick Saban was great at that. Urban Meyer was great at that. And Dion came from a HBCU school in an FCS conference where the competition wasn't even at the same level entirely in most cases, because they get shoehorned a lot. I'm not going to coming from an HBCU myself, the talent gets shoehorned.
Facts.
And it's unfortunate because a lot of really good talent are at HBCUs, but nobody gets to see them because they don't get put on TV enough. So he went to Colorado, that was struggling like it did, and ranked them and got them up to 23rd in the nation after 2 seasons.
It made them relevant.
First time since 2020. They hadn't had a 4-1 start since 2020. He did that year one.
Facts. And then
I get they got blown out by Oregon, but Oregon was a very good team. Now they also played flat like they did against BYU. So what you expect to happen, but it is what it is. We got to move on because we got a couple more things we got to get to today.
First of all, before we clock out of here, man, and we was talking about money earlier. The ACC got big money. I don't know if y'all know this, but the ACC got big money. So real quick, I want y'all to hear this. Last year, or in the 2023-24 academic year, the ACC generated $711 million. And then proceeded to give an average of $45 million to all 14 full-time ACC schools. But y'all say y'all can't pay them? Make it make sense. This is why we say the NCAA. This is why we say the NCAA is a $1 billion industry, because the ACC made $711 million and that's covering the final year of ACC athletics before Stanford, SMU, and Cal came in. And also, that's a 56% increase from 5 years ago.
Almost doubled your money
In
Come
5 years.
Come on now. Come on now. Get out. Come on to the store.
Bro. And they solidified themselves as the third highest conference after the SEC and the Big Ten. But what's even crazier to me is the fact that they are having that issue with them lawsuits about money revenue and money distribution. Because like Florida State, Clemson, and all of them are like, nah, we need more money like we're making for the SEC and whatnot. And they're trying to get there. But it's just, bro, you gave every school $45 million.
I almost forgot to add Georgia Tech in the ACC competition. I am sorry, Georgia Tech. Well, I'm not sorry, but I'm sorry, Georgia Tech.
But I'm saying you gave every school in the ACC $45 million.
45 bunches, 45 suitcases.
Bro, 45 truckloads. I as much as we talk about it, I don't know what $45 million looks like. I will never probably know what that looks like. And if I do, y'all will never know. He might know. He might know. Y'all won't know.
My tax report will know. I ain't gonna know.
Right, like, bro, $45
Social Security will know. I ain't gonna know.
But I just thought that was crazy, bro. And I know that's gonna be like a short segment just talking about how the ACC has big money, but right. That's all you can say about it. Look.
Exactly.
That's all you can say about it. $45 million. And for those of you who wanted to know about the Big Ten and the ACC, the Big Ten apparently, they were talking about it in the article, was at $808 million. And then the SEC was $880, but they also didn't include like their deals fully, so it might even be more than that because the SEC was giving away. The SEC gave each of their schools $53 million.
Telling y'all, y'all knew. Y'all knew all this time.
Now I'm gonna ask this question: if you're getting $53 million, why is tuition and board so expensive? Huh? Questions that need answers.
I got answers to that.
Oh no, I know you ain't got answers. I'm looking at every institution that took this money. The $45 million recipients, the $53 million recipients. I just want to know. I just want to know. But next, I do want to talk about real quick. So, UNC's record in domes. Real quick, fun little fact. If you did not know, this will be the 13th year that UNC is going to play a game in a dome, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah, because they play Syracuse on Halloween night. Spooky. So UNC's record in domes and school history is 8-4. Now here's the crazy part. UNC started their dome record 8-0. They won the first 8 games they played in domes. They won, which I thought was crazy. And then they've gone 0-4. And their last loss was their worst loss because they played Georgia Tech at Mercedes-Benz in 2021, and they lost 45-22. I hate the fact
Georgia Tech.
I hate the fact that y'all worst loss was the last loss. I hate that. That's just me. I don't like it.
When was that game? What year was that?
2021.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm actually upset by that.
Why? Because you couldn't go?
No, definitely not.
Oh,
I'm never going. Why would I watch Georgia Tech play?
I'm just saying, it's still UNC.
Anyway, I said what I said. Anyway, No, because I thought it was a little more recent. The reason why I thought it was more recent because I'm like, okay, if we're basing it off of the last two teams Georgia Tech had, okay, I can concede this kind of loss.
Mm.
But
he, said,
2021,
he said, but. And then, last thing, we do got to discuss, man. Business booming for UNC because even with all that Belichick has done, apparently business is booming. And the reason why we say that is the director of athletics, Bubba Cunningham, spoke out of the Bill Belichick effect. And what I mean, apparently, UNC has sold out their allotment tickets already for the 2025 season. That's 20,000 tickets. And here's the thing. They sold out those tickets after the tickets were marked up by 25%. And apparently none of the fans complained. Cunningham said it was the most significant uptick they'd ever had in school history. So apparently, Bill really pushing P like that. If everybody cool with buying 20% marked up tickets, like I ain't like, listen, bro, you got to make that a lucrative ticket for me. I'm not buying a ticket in the nosebleeds that's been marked up 25%. You can miss me with that. I'll go to Keenan Stadium, but I'm not buying no 25% marked up ticket just to be sitting way up in the stands, bro.
$1 bill, baby.
Huh?
$1 bill, baby.
$1 bill. Hey, listen, I'm gonna be just sitting there with the crows, just sitting up there in the stands with the crows.
Listen, I ain't even trying. Like you catch me out in the parking lot with all the tailgaters. I'll be out there. That's fine.
We're gonna be out
because
there.
I ain't about to pay. I ain't about to pay $250 for no nosebleed.
$250 for a nosebleed is crazy. Like,
nah.
Listen,
and it's an open air nosebleed. Nah.
Hey, bro, open air. Watch it be open air, and it's the December game, or it's like the November game. You cold up there, like.
Nope. North Carolina be snowing sometimes. I ain't know,
bro.
Nope. Not me.
I couldn't do it, bro. Like even though I could do it, I couldn't do it. Do it for Bill. No.
Do it for Bill.
No.
Oh, God, bro.
All right. And then, guys, as we always like to wind down and get to the end of the episode, it is time for our Tar Heel birthday.
Time for Tar Heel birthdays because he definitely froze. So, this upcoming week, quarterback Gio Lopez. Happy early birthday coming up on Memorial Day, my brother, man. He'll be back in a minute, y'all. So, big ups to him. Hope you have a good one. Hope especially for Memorial Day. Stay safe out there. Cops is out a little bit more because people be acting crazy. So stay safe out there. And once again, happy birthday today, as of the 20th, for Reggie Love II. I know we said it last episode, but we're going to say it again because today is actually your birthday. I hope you enjoyed everything, bro. Hope you have a safe weekend if you want to celebrate it then, or if you didn't celebrate it today. Do your thing, boss. Now, one of our favorite segments of the day. We'll go ahead get into the Tar Heel takeaways of the night, since it's just me this time, and I don't have the thing. So Tar Heel takeaway for me to y'all, and tell you true, AO Beats. I used to say at the time, not Time Wizard. Tell you true, Beats. While we here, you got a Tar Heel takeaway of the day. It can be something simple. It ain't got to be nothing crazy. Because mine is, when it comes down to maintaining content, make sure you pay attention to all of the context of the content that is being brought to you. I'm not saying that you don't. I'm not saying that you can't read between the lines. Some people can't. Some people can. Just know that sometimes, if you're going to say something, we're going to come for you. And I'm going to come for you. I ain't going to sit here and let you tell me I don't know nothing. Especially if I can go and research it. I'm going to research it. But nah, that's not really my thing. My whole takeaway is make sure that you drink water. Stay safe because it's about to get hot. Summer's crazy. Especially if you live in the South. It is thick heat down here. Stay hydrated. Get in the shade if you can. And if you're gonna do anything outside, bring you an ice bucket or two or three. Put it over in the shadiest tree you can find and stay there with it. Because don't go out there in the sun, because the sun gonna beat you down all day long. Just don't do it. Not worth it. All right. And Beats, your takeaway. My take is on Bill. My take is Bill on to something, grabbing that tackle you mentioned earlier. Facts. Facts. Bill is on to something. Cause Simpson, I'm telling you, if you get a chance to see him, like Simpson is going to kill. Especially since we did lose a linebacker that we were definitely excited about for the season. Andrew Simpson's gonna fill that spot quick, and it's gonna be glorious to watch. Welcome back, sir.
Lord, bro, it picks the worst time. The worst time.
I mean, I finished the birthdays for you, and I also did my Tar Heel takeaway.
You already did
Making
Tar Heel
sure you drink water.
First things first. Also with the birthdays. Want to give a huge happy birthday to my little sister. Happy birthday, Trinity. Hope you have a great birthday, baby girl. Like, love
Happy
you.
birthday, Trin.
Hope you had fun. I know you say you ain't thinking about doing too much, but I love you. As your big bros,
Drink water.
always great.
Always
Great to see you get there.
Trin, drink water. I know it's your birthday. Stay hydrated.
All right.
You're getting hot out here.
All right. And so now we don't take Tar Heel takeaway. I heard you talk about the sands of times on me, man. Chill out.
He's saying time on you.
Chill out.
He's summoning time wizard.
He's summoning time wizards. Okay. But it's my Tar Heel takeaway of the week.
Yes, sir.
All right. I couldn't even give you the sound effect, man. Dang.
I know. It's all right.
Dang.
You'll be okay.
I apologize. I apologize for that, man.
Internet.
My Tar
I can tell you what mine was to kind of help you out a little bit.
What was yours?
So initially I was talking smack about, like, before you say something on content, just make sure you get the whole context. But I was just being jokey with that. My real thing was make sure you drink water and stay hydrated, because the summer's coming and it's gonna be hot, especially if you live in the South. Go ahead, get you an ice bucket, 2 or 3, put it in the shadiest area you can, and stay in the shade with that ice bucket, because don't go out in the sun, because the sun gonna beat you down.
That is very true. So now, I think I got something. All right, we're gonna redo it. All right, Tar Heel takeaway of the week for this week. Truth be told, y'all, I'm gonna say this. You know what? Yeah, here it is. I'm tired of being made fun of for watching cartoons as a grown adult. You know what? There it is. I am sick of it. If I am a grown adult and I want to watch cartoons, I will watch cartoons. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing against it. I could be out here slinging that stuff, moving that work. God knows what. I could be out here in the highs of highs and the lows of lows. I could be in the gutter. I could be out in the streets. I could be with a person who doesn't even identify as a person. They identify as a rock. But you know what? That's not bad. Honestly, that's not bad. Anywho, I could be doing the worst things of the worst, but I'm in my living room eating a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, watching The Weekenders. Let me be great. Let me be great, bro. That's what I want to do. This man said, yes. Let me be great. If you have a partner who's just chilling in the house,
Mister, they better be grateful.
They better. If you have a partner who's chilling in the house, they handle their business, they pay the bills that they need to pay, X, Y, and Z, and you come home and all they doing, they done clean everything, and they just chilling, eating cereal, watching cartoons, you have a great partner. There ain't nothing wrong with it. They ain't out doing X, Y, and Z. It's okay. It's okay. Watch cartoons with them. Find your own cartoon. I don't know. Shoot. That might have came from a place of pain from years ago. I don't know.
I say you sound. That sound like it came deep from within.
That might have came from that. I Honestly, I think that might have been like 14-year-old Myron that just came
That
out.
man
Bro.
said bullseye though. Like
Hey,
you're not wrong. Because yeah, we
listen,
could like the people that hate on people being gamers and watching cartoons and stuff and staying home. Y'all listen, we could be out here doing the most. The absolute
bro,
most.
here's the thing. Like, he knows I go out every once in a while. But you know where I'm at 80 other percent of the time? In the house, playing the game with him.
I'm
Minding my
minding my business
business.
is what I'm doing.
Minding my business. Just chilling. Doing my thing. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But that's all for this week's episode of UNC Live, man. I'm sorry I went out of commission for like a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever the case may be. But before we go, you say bye to the people because I started this.
Nah. Appreciate y'all for coming out here. Thank you again for coming for another week of North Carolina Live. And remember, join us every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. I will say we have one more week where it'll be a 9:15 thing. One more. But don't worry, we're getting back to it. We'll be back right soon. So appreciate y'all. Love y'all for coming out. See y'all next week. And remember, drink water. Stay safe out there. Peace.
Hey, we out of here. Love y'all, Tar Heel Nation. Till next time. Wee.